Let's give the Toronto Raptors some love because they are back in the NBA playoffs. Sealing the number 5 seed on Sunday with a win against the Brooklyn Nets, the Raptors capped off a turnaround regular season. They ended with a record of 46-36, scoring 16 extra wins from last year. And folks, it is time to fire up Jurassic Park. So today on the Morning Whistle, we are going to talk about the Toronto Raptors' return to the playoffs. In honor of a successful regular season, I want to first address all the haters who have slandered this team throughout the year, because there's been a lot. Then we're going to talk about some of the wins from this season, some great things we saw from the group, and we're going to do a very quick outlook on the playoffs as they prepare to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is the Morning Whistle. My name is Aaron Nerone. So the Raptors end this regular season 46-36. As we mentioned, they had 16 more wins from last year, and they finished as the number 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. We avoid the play-in. I want to give some love to this team because there has been way too much negativity around the Toronto Raptors, right? Despite the improved results, talking to basketball hardcores, you would feel like the sky is falling. First, there was all this talk about the cap situation. The fact that we were very close to the first apron threshold of $195 million. Then there was concern about Brandon Ingram's fit with the team, right? The fact that he wasn't fitting into our half-court offense. And then recently, as it's become more likely that the Raptors did make the dance, it's all become about the fact that too many of our wins have come against subpar competition. That our record against teams above 500 was not good. And look, I get all of those things, but let's look at the positives because there was so much from this season. 1, Brandon Ingram fit well. I get it. On offense, at times, it looked a little disjointed, specifically early in the year. But he bought into our defensive system. He showed great improvement hustling, helping our team improve our defensive rating to be 6th best in the league. And we saw multiple games where he was exactly what we needed. A guy who could go out and get a bucket. And that's what we need in the playoffs. He's not Kawhi, no, but he is a bucket getter. Desperately what we needed. And he seems motivated. 2, Scottie Barnes continued to emerge. Yes, his offense maybe is not developing as much as we'd hoped, but he is a legitimate defensive player of the year caliber player. He averaged 1.4 steals, 1.4 blocks, continued to show his ability to guard anywhere from the 2 to the 5, while also showing incredible playmaking ability. He had 3 triple-doubles this season and continues to be an absolute menace for forwards. And most importantly, the healthy starting lineup of Jakob Poeltl, RJ Barrett, Scottie Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Emmanuel Quickley showed themselves to be formidable. In that group, you have 5 great passers of the ball. You have a length top to bottom. You have 4 different guys who can score. And you have people who are all bought into a team mentality. That is really important. Now, the Raptors have 6 days to rest before we kick off the playoffs on the road against Cleveland. And I want to address some of the concerns. We know that this team is not an NBA Finals favorite. We know that. We know that we're going to be underdogs. But this experience is going to be so good. 1, it's going to be Scottie Barnes' first experience back in the playoffs since 2022 when he was a rookie. And if you recall in that series against the 76ers, he was hurt in game 1. And while he returned later in that series, he was compromised. So he's not really had a chance to experience the playoffs for what it should be. And even remember then, that team was Fred's and Siakam's. Now it's his turn. and it will be his opportunity to step up. Secondly, don't count this group out. Yes, the Cavs have James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, who are two studs. And Evan Mobley is also one of the best defensive players in the year. But I truly believe the rest of their lineup is pretty vulnerable defensively, specifically Harden. And they are a much better matchup for us than against the Knicks. Third, I think about the city. We know the Leafs are not going to be in the playoffs. It is going to be great for basketball fans to see this new group. I don't know if many people have been to Raptors games this year, but the environment wasn't what it was like in, of course, the Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan years, but also the Fred and Siakam era. So this will be an opportunity for many casual fans to familiarize themselves with IQ, Barrett, and Barnes. Of course, Jurassic Park is also fire. Last, for everyone who says this group is not good enough to win a title, I say we're going to find out. The playoffs will begin to give Bobby Webster and the team the intel they need about this group. And yes, we have some assumptions. There's not enough three-point shooting. Yes, there's not enough depth. Yes, we probably need someone who can drive to the basket a little more consistently. And yes, we probably need better centers. But with this group, we're going to know what we actually need when the games happen, because playoff basketball is completely different from the regular season. And so this group just needs to go out, play, do their best. There's no failing at this point. And then in the summer, we begin to make changes. And I know our cap structure isn't necessarily the best, but there are options. At the end of the day, I am excited for playoff basketball because this NBA season has not been great. But I always say playoff basketball becomes a different animal. Let's see what happens. This is The Morning Whistle. I'm Aaron Arona.